What's up, you beautiful people? Pastor Ron here again with a marriage moment. So glad that you're able to join us here today. Today I'm accompanied by my wife, Miss Luann. We have Eddie and Nadia Hinojosa. We have Ociel and Marisa Hinojosa, no, Hernandez. Trying to give you a different name. Sorry about that, guys. Here with us today. And we are going to be having a roundtable discussion on date night. Date night. And just to see how it is before, during, and after, we'll be talking about all those things in our dates and how important is it for us to have a date night. But before we get into that, there's some things that I want to share with you, and that's the following. They are some of my teachers that helped me along with our marriage oneness class here at BT Church, McAllen campus, when we are able to meet. And of course, we all understand due to the COVID-19, we've not been able to meet as a Sunday school class, but they are some of my great teachers that helped me with that. So I kind of want to start out with a question to them. You know, how has the marriage oneness class been a blessing to you? So I'm going to refer to Eddie and Nadia first to give us some thoughts on how has the marriage oneness class been a blessing to you?
Well, thank you, Pastor Ron, for inviting us to be here with you this morning. I believe it's this morning when they air this. For us, it's been great because as a lot of you know me personally, I'm a very quiet person. And so my wife is completely opposite. She's completely wild and crazy, which is why I married her. But what these classes have showed me, just by Pastor Ron allowing me to be able to help him and lead him in some of these classes, is for me to open up and to learn to communicate. As it is, I'm a very bad communicator. You can ask my wife about that. And these classes have really helped me to communicate, to learn to communicate with my wife, not only with my wife, but also with everyone who's part of the class. And so that's helped me not only to be able to open up for myself, but to be able to open up about my problems with my wife, open up with you guys when you guys are in our class, because sometimes my wife says she comes to class just to hear me talk, because at home I don't talk. And so this is one of the things that I really enjoy about this class, that I'm able just to open up and just try to get out of my comfort zone. And I think that's helped us in our marriage to be able to be more open with one another and just to learn how to communicate with different people.
Nadia, have something to share with us?
Just a little bit, because obviously now he's a talker, and I'm the one who doesn't talk anymore. But no, it's helped us tremendously go into a deeper level of communication. We have always been able to talk maybe superficially, the top, but once we started with these classes, we've been able to go deeper level and understand each other spiritually better, and just respect each other more, and ideas, be open-minded to the things that we have to bring to the table and to our marriage. And so that's really helped us a lot. I know that it's benefited me a lot, and hearing everybody else's stories as well. That really, really plays a big role in our lives as well, hearing everybody else, knowing that we're not alone in situations, in difficult situations sometimes in marriage that can bring in our lives. But no, I'm really blessed with this opportunity that we've had. Thank you, Pastor Ron.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Coach, share with us, what has the marriage oneness class meant to you guys?
Well, Pastor Ron, thank you again for inviting us as well, my wife Marita and I. And as far as marriage oneness classes, we've been fortunate and blessed to be a part of an amazing church, an amazing group of people here, led by you, Pastor Ron, just because marriage oneness classes have really impacted our marriage in a positive way. For a long time, I think everybody knows that I talk a lot, but I don't say a lot. So my wife says I say a lot without saying anything. So it was a lot like that for our marriage, but we got into our marriage oneness classes, our communication improved, our marriage improved, and most importantly, our walk with Christ improved. That was really the biggest change in our marriage, and that was all thanks to the marriage oneness classes.
Marisa, would you like to share something?
Yes, I agree. As soon as we started taking those classes, we felt a shift, because we didn't really know what was wrong. We knew something was wrong, but we didn't know what. And so those classes really helped us to pinpoint what it was and how to work on it. And it's true, hearing the stories and being able to share our stories and laugh together, cry together, it's really helpful. And so every time we help now with classes, I feel like we still keep learning, and we keep getting closer and closer to God and closer together.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. That's just a little promo because I really would like to invite you to join us in our Marriage Oneness class whenever we're able to get back together again and start our classes. We have a lot of fun in there, learn a lot of stuff together, and I know that it will be a blessing to you and help you in your marriage as well. We always want to continue to work on our marriage, keep on taking it up to that next level, and the Marriage Oneness class will help us all in that area. Well, let's continue with what we're doing here today, and that's talking about date night. And we're going to share stories with you about our dates before we got married, dates, how we, during our marriage, and even now during this pandemic situation, how we've had to adjust our date time and what kind of dates do we have. So, Eddie, let me ask you, would you like to share with us probably what was the best date you guys went out on before you got married? What would you guys do for a date night?
Pastor Ron, I don't think we can talk about that on video here. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's
just
keep
kidding.
it PG.
I think for me, before I met my beautiful wife, I came through a time when I was getting to know Christ. And so I went through a time span there where I was just constantly praying to God to send me somebody who, that would love God more than me. And so I went through a kind of a rough spell there, not because I couldn't find anybody, but I was kind of being impatient. But when God finally brought my wife Nadia over to the church that we were going to, she knows this, I fell in love with her the first time I saw her. And so for me, just being with her, whether it was at the parking lot walking, whether it was at the park, whether it was just outside our apartment where I used to live, those were the greatest dates that we had because we were just able to spend time together. We were able to talk. And just get to know each other. And for me, it was a blessing from God, knowing that He answered my prayer. He answered a prayer that I've been praying for a long time in bringing my wife into my life. So that's my best date, just being with her before we got married.
Okay, now let's hear the real truth from Nadia.
Yeah, that's true.
And see what she says about that. So Nadia, share with us, what's your best date that you recollect of having with Eddie before you guys got married?
I would have to definitely agree with my husband here, Pastor Ron, because it didn't really matter where we went. Honestly, it didn't really matter where we went, and we did keep it PG all the time anyway. But I think the best times that we spent were right outside our apartment on the curb and just talking and being real with each other and sharing God's word, sharing about how God can forgive and what things that I would confess to Him, things that I had done in my past, and Him just being so loving and forgiving. And He'd be like, that's nothing for me to forgive. And I'm like, whoa, this is a special guy that I really want to have in my life. And him putting God first was really what I was looking for in a man, someone that would put God first, and that's what he was. And God, I never really thought about love or believed in love, but when you come to know God, you come to know love, and God sent me him. So it really didn't matter where we went. And we did have our share of fun, and we would go places. We lived in Galveston. So we were there at the beach and at Moody Gardens and the mall so close by and everything. We did so many things together, but I think the most precious times are the ones that we spent talking and getting to know each other.
Okay, I'll probably get myself in trouble with this one, but Miss Luann, why don't you share with us what, of all those thousands of dates that we went on, which one's the best one you remember?
Well, for us, our situation was different. I went on a mission trip, and they said, go on this mission trip. It'll change your life. And literally it did, because that's where I met my husband. So for a year and a half, we dated through letters, basically through letters, and long distance. I was in Michigan. He was in Mexico. So we had 4 weeks during that time that we could that we saw each other, and then we dated. So any time that we were together, even though we were writing daily, it was just a precious time to talk and to just walk and just that. Nothing outrageously special. Just being together was just special.
I remember that first date that I took her on when I went up to Michigan to visit her. I arrived at Michigan, I'm like, I don't know where anything is here. I don't know what to do. So I took her to the airport, and we went up into the parking lot at the top level and just watched planes take off and sit there and talked. I mean, I didn't know what to do or what to say. I was a novice at it. But you know what? Those are great times for us, times that we could spend together. Coach, share with us.
Well, not the first date, but the most memorable date that I have from us when we were dating was we went on a date to Bennigan's. It doesn't even exist anymore. But obviously we're still together, so that's what matters. But Yeah, we went on a date, and I remember the server coming up to us throughout the meal, and she told us, "Wow, y'all look so in love." And I still hope that to this day somebody comes up to us, and they still do when we go on a date by ourselves. People still tell us, and that's just by the grace of God that people can still see our love for each other.
Well, mine was, I didn't realize it was our first date, but it was. At that time it was kind of scary. We had gone out to eat, and then he was like, "Well, let's go take a drive." So we were taking a drive, and he's like, "Well, let me show you where I live." I'm like, "Okay, let's go see." And so as we're driving, we get closer to my neighborhood, and I'm like, "Why are you taking me to my neighborhood? How do you know where I live? What's going on?" And so I'm like really nervous, and we keep getting closer and closer. And then I realized he was my neighbor the whole time. And so, I mean, from there, we just like couldn't stop like being together because we just needed to walk each other home, and it was not a big deal. So that was it.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Let me shift forward a little bit. Now I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to start, Coach, with you again. Pre-COVID-19, okay? Tell us a little bit about how often you guys would go out on dates and what kind of things would you do on those dates?
Well, no, we didn't go out a lot or often, but we did get to spend a lot of time together. The times that we did go out, we'd go out usually to eat, or sometimes we'd go to the movies. Having 4 kids kind of makes it difficult to get away, but we do make a lot of time for each other. We spend a lot of time together, and that's been a real big influence or a big difference in our marriage. That, like Nadia and Eddie said, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter if we were going out and having an official date, as long as we're spending time together and talking to each other and getting to know, even after 18 years of marriage, getting to know each other deeper. That's really what has made a big difference in our marriage.
Yes, like he said, we just love spending time together. It doesn't matter what we're doing. And I mean, so, yes, with 4 kids, sometimes it's just like, you know what, kids, y'all need to go play, do something, watch something on your own, and we're gonna have our own movie night, and then we'll be there, and we'll spend time and laugh. I mean, I like that we can pause and we'll make comments, funny, things about the movie or whatever. But that's really what it is. We just spend time together, no matter what it is.
Thank you, Marisa. That makes me think of something. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, man, I wish that I could go out on a date with my wife or my husband, but we've got 4 kids or whatever. What am I supposed to do? I mean, I don't know that many people here. Grandma and grandpa aren't quite available. Well, I thought about that question. Here's what I came up with. Call Pastor Isado. He's the children's pastor. Just say, hey, I'm sending my kids over to you. You take care of them. My wife and I, no, I'm just kidding. You don't call Pastor Isado. But
Hold on. I think Pastor Isado's calling right now.
Is he calling me right now? Don't be saying that. Yeah. No, but find somebody. Call the youth pastor here, Pastor Colin, and he knows a lot of young ladies there in the youth department that would like to do some babysitting, and call them, get to know some of them, and find that one person that you and your spouse trust that can come and take care of your kids for a while, and start going out on date night. Start going out and having a good time. Eddie, Nadia, share with us now what you guys do, because I happen to know that you guys go out on date night. I think Wednesday night still your date night. Share with us about that a little bit.
Well, normally our date nights are every Wednesday. We started doing Wednesday nights because we used to take our kids to the Awana, and so we used to drop them off, and then we'd go on our dates. And so we've stuck to that routine where every Wednesday is our date nights. We choose different things to do, whether it's just walking at the mall, just going out to eat, whatever it is, as long as we're together and we have time to talk and do things together. That's normally what we do. So once a week is what we do.
Well, the dates for pre-COVID, we recently started going out, maybe 2-3 years? It's been 2 or 3 years since we started class, and we're empty nesters, sort of, kind of. Our kids are already driving, so we have the luxury now of really actually going out on dates once a week. And but before that, we would actually have a little sanctuary place in the backyard. He's a builder. He likes to do stuff with his hands. So he built a pergola, and so we would spend a lot of time in the back, or even had, before the pergola, we had a pond. So we always made it a point to just spend time together, even if it was in our backyard. But we would go to the back, have coffee, have something, and then just talk, and pretty much just trying to get to know each other better. What are your trigger points? What are your pet peeves? Why do you get upset about stuff? And it was okay, because that's your safe place, and you need to learn how to understand your spouse better. But that was pre-COVID. That was like way many years ago. But recently, yeah, we go on dates once a week, and we enjoy going out and making it a point to do something. And a lot of the times there's really not a lot to do, but we would go to the mall and just walk, or go to stores and just walk and talk, and it doesn't have to be buying stuff, maybe just window shopping. But the point is just to spending that time with each other. Eventually, you will start talking. Maybe at first, when we first started going out on dates, oh my gosh, we were like staring at each other, looking at the watch, and wondering when is this going to be over, and we had the kids in Awanas, so we were just waiting for them to just get out, because we didn't even know what it was to go out on a date. We had forgotten. Even though we were practicing something at the house, it was still hard to leave the house and do an actual date. It was really, really hard. But we still stuck through it, and we decided to just continue doing it and do it, and even though we were in silence and looking at our phones. And eventually, you start realizing, hey, this is going to be the person I'm going to be with the rest of my life. What am I going to do? Never talked. And so we started talking about the deeper stuff. Yes, I am a chatterbox, but the more important things that, that touch your soul. And where are we going? Where's our walk? Where is it going? Is it facing with God? Is it facing the world? Where are we? Stuff like that. And so it was really nice now that we were able to do that.
Thank you, Nadia. I appreciate that. Miss Luann, why don't you share with the everyone watching what that wonderful husband, admiring, doting husband that you have, and all the wonderful dates that he takes you out on. Why don't you share with the people?
There's so many. I don't even know if I can count them all.
Okay, thank you. That's enough.
No, really, we do spend a lot of time together anyway, because we work in the same place, and we just always have spent a lot of time with each other. So I personally think that you can spend time together and just be together. It doesn't always have to be a huge conversation. It can just be holding hands and walking, just being together. I just think that's really special. For us, it's like riding the motorcycle together when I'm holding on to him for dear life as he's going, or going to the island and walking on the beach. Those are some of things that I think that are really special. It doesn't have to cost a lot. It's just being together, and I think just being together is good also. It doesn't have to be a huge conversation.
Thank you. You didn't tell them how many thousands of dollars I spend on our dates when we go. Oh, hey, wait, we're in church. I can't lie. Okay, so anything like that. All right. All right. Thank you. I enjoy my time with my wife, and I love it when she comes to me and she goes, hey, let's go for a motorcycle ride, because I love to be on the bike and that type of stuff. We go out and we'll take a 20-minute, 30-minute ride out in the country, and I just love it. I remember one time we went to the island, and we were out at the island, and on the way back, I kept on feeling my motorcycle kind of like being jerked off to the side a little bit, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Am I having tire troubles or what? When I came home, when we finally got home, Miss Luann gets off the back of the motorcycle, and she goes, oh, that was a wonderful nap I had on. I went, wait, what? Yeah, every time she'd kind of doze off, she was tripping the motorcycle over. Now that's faith right there. That's faith to get on the motorcycle with me and fall asleep in the back. But no, we had a great time. We had a great time with that, and I love it. Like my lovely wife says, when we go to the island and we go out and we just start walking along the seashore and just talking, that kind of triggers my mind to say the following: that when you go on your date night, should be a positive time. Date night's not for us to go and fight about something, and not to go and argue, and not to go and get at each other. We need to have date nights that are encouraging, uplifting, and building one another when we do these things. So, ladies, I have a question for you. Marisa, I'll start with you. Share with us and the audience, what would be your ideal date?
Well, you all mentioned because I love the beach. And so I just feel like walking down the beach after we've gone to dinner, and the sound of the waves is just so relaxing, and the breeze. So I think that's like the best time, just holding hands, walking. I think that's the best thing I can think of.
Awesome. Yeah. Great. Coach, I think if you leave right now, you'll be able to make it before it gets too dark. No, I'm just kidding you. Like that. Share with us
Well, I don't
Nadia?
think I can say it because it's not PG, but
Oh, okay.
so I'll go to my second ideal. No, I think I would have to agree. I think as long as everything is peaceful and tranquility and nature. I love nature. We love nature. We enjoy that. So just maybe taking walks, fire pit, not fire, not throwing fire at him.
Talk about that first one there.
Yeah. No, just having a wonderful evening together and walking, enjoying, exploring. That would be my ideal date.
Of course, I know because we've talked about it. You guys like to do biking,
Yes.
you know, and so you get on your bikes and you go out somewhere over by Mission, out by the trails up
Mission
there,
Trails and
and
Conway.
just start.
And we love it, and I think that's a great way of, I don't know, just being a part of that together, and we do it
Yeah.
together. It's
Awesome.
it's wonderful. We love it.
Cool. Miss Luann, what would be your ideal date?
Well, like we already said, the beach, of course. Walking on the beach together, eating at the cafe on the beach, maybe having a bonfire like over where the dunes are, where there's no people, just like that. I'm a big hiker, but unfortunately my husband's not a hiker, so I'll hike with others. But anyway, the beaches, we can do that together.
She loves the beach. I can hike into the car and hike out of the car, but that's about it for me. This body wasn't built for a lot of hiking, but she's a ever-ready battery person. She's just going and going and going, and she loves to hike. So if anybody would like to take my wife out on a date, and, I'm kidding you on that type of stuff, or kayaking, she likes to do kayaking and that type of stuff like that. So last question, guys, for us before we close this down. What suggestions would you give couples who maybe at the present time do not go out on dates? Eddie?
Well, I think the best thing right now is just being together. I think right now a lot of us are stuck together at home, not because we want to, but because of the COVID pandemic. And so I think it's important that even though you're together all day or at home all day, still take time away. Instead of getting together, maybe take some time away to spend time alone. Get time to spend time in the Bible, spend time praying to God. But then also take a little bit of time to still get together and speak with one another. Whether it's intimate things, whether it's work-related, whether it's family. Because sometimes right now, we're not used to being home with the kids all day. You know, the kids are not in school. So what do? Now we have to fight with the kids also. We have to deal with the kids. We have to feed the kids. We have to bathe the kids. You got to constantly be on the kids. And so it's important that you just sit back, pause, and just reflect on what's going on for the day. Reflect on God. Ask God to, draw closer to Him. But still have that intimate time with your wife where, at night when the kids are asleep or in the morning before everybody wakes up or before you start working from home, just drink a coffee, get a little pan dulce or something and just talk about the day. Yeah, calming, yeah. And so just talk about little things that you used to do before these pandemic crazy days that we're in right now. And so I think that goes a long way, just communicating a little bit at a time.
I think just like my husband said, Eddie, being intentional, for those who are married, I know at the end of the day, or even if you're not married, have kids, I'm sorry. If you have kids, by the end of the day, you're just exhausted and want to go to bed, but try to get that out of your mind and just be intentional about at least once a week being there for your spouse and doing something, maybe a fancy dinner or a candlelit dinner, and you can order it out. It doesn't have to be made, but doing something. If you know that your spouse likes to cook, let's do it together and do a nice fancy dinner. If you don't like to cook, order it out and order in, and then have still a fancy tablecloth with candles, and just be creative and just be intentional about it where you want to spend some time, and make sure that your kids are, tucked in bed, go to sleep, have a bedtime. And if they don't have a bedtime, at least once a week, they need to understand that, mom and dad have a date night and we can't go anywhere because of COVID. So we're going to do this, and you guys we need your help. So stay in your rooms, watch a movie or something, but mom and dad are going to be, having their own alone time. So yeah, I think being intentional about it, no matter how long or stressful or tiring or boring the day can be, still be intentional and swoop your spouse off their feet.
Here's just an easy idea. Just get in the car together, drive through somewhere, pick up something that you like to eat, and go somewhere, some country road or something, and just watch the sunset together and just eat and enjoy your time together.
Thank you. Coach?
Well, I think the most important thing is to spend time together. Even if you're already spending time, it's the getting to know each other a little bit deeper, getting to really spend time together. And like Eddie said, it might be getting away from each other for a little bit, but then coming back together and really recharging your batteries. One thing that Maritza does real well is she listens. I talk and she listens, but most importantly, she listens to understand, and she listens to with a deeper. I truly mean that. She lovingly listens to all my complaints, and I think a lot of times we want to fix problems, and she's not like that. She listens, and she lets me vent, and just that little thing means a lot to me. And I know right now it might be a difference between just an argument or not. It's just stay positive with each other, and you know what, things are gonna change, and we all have to make adjustments, and we need to spend time together and getting to know each other deeper, and just making sure that we understand each other, and most importantly, that this person and this spouse that you picked is the one that God has for you, and that's the one that we are truly clinging to in these times instead of pushing away from, and that's really going to make the difference in your marriage.
Thank you, Coach.
So I agree about the driving around, because that's what we do a lot. We kind of like, oh, it's time to go pick up. It's our once a week that we pick up food. So we'll both go and pick it up. And as we're driving, because our kids are picky, so sometimes we have several stops. As we're driving, we can spend time talking about our day and about what's going on, about our hopes, our dreams, our weird little things we talk about that we laugh about. But it's just time when we can be talking without other people like our kids listening or anybody else, and so it's a fun time.
Thank you. I really want to encourage you guys to, if you don't have a date night, to start one. Doesn't have to be every week. It could be once every 2 weeks. Miss Luann and I actually we go out twice a week. I go on Tuesday and she goes on Thursday, and we have a great time. No, I'm kidding you. Of course not. No, but Miss Luann and I get out and we have a great time. And let me encourage you, because date night can really build a fire into your marriage. This time that you guys can get away from the children, from their stress, from whatever it is that happened during the day, and just get together and just enjoy each other's company. Date night doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Go and buy an ice cream and just share it between two of you, or go and get a meal and share it, you know. In the notes below, you can click down there. We're going to have a sheet there with several ideas of some dates that you can practice and that you can do. But be creative. Come up with your own ideas of dates. Maybe even on one occasion, let the husband pick what the date's going to be. On the next occasion, let the wife pick what the date's going to be. And go and do that. And just have fun together and enjoy yourselves. Well, I hope that you've gotten some good ideas of this video today on date night. And I really want to encourage you to institute, if you don't have one, institute a date night. Eddie, Nadia, Coach, Maritza, I want to thank you guys so much. Miss Luann, thank you so much for being here. You don't love that girl, okay? She doesn't like when I call her Miss
PG, please.
Luann.
Keep it PG, please.
PG, that's right. But thank you guys for being here and for sharing with us. And we pray that this has been a blessing to you. We want to say goodbye to you now. Thank you so much for being with us, and may God bless you.